Good morning, everybody. It is 7:59, a very, very dark Thursday. I'm happy to say I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to do some Christmas shopping. I cannot wait. Cheers. Here's to a lovely morning. So, this morning I wanted to come on. Yesterday I read an article about the rise in colon cancer in young people, and I wanted to come on because I know several people in the last few years who've gotten cancer and they are actually slim. And I suppose I have an opinion on it, and I'm entitled to have an opinion on it. I feel well qualified. My brother died of cancer needlessly. I would say absolutely needlessly. And my father died of cancer in the last few years. I would call it post-pandemic cancer from bad eating, not moving around, not meeting anybody. Certainly went against the grain in terms of his own health. I would also say supplementation. Now, there is a big issue out there that they have raised in the article that I read, and that's about seed oils. I do not eat seed oils. I gave them up a couple of years ago because of keto. I was the same as everybody else using the all vegetable oil, and I did a lot of research. I would never eat a seed oil again. Now, if I go to McDonald's, if I go to a restaurant, I don't care what they cook the food in. I don't sit. I see some of the carnivore, particularly the carnivores, who I absolutely listen. If you have a serious chronic illness, you should go carnivore for a month. Then go back onto keto. But personally, I think the ketogenic diet is probably your ideal diet. Some of the carnivore people don't agree with fiber, and they live perfectly healthy, great lives. That's great. For me, I like the fiber, but also I feel that it's a more balanced diet in terms of minerals and vitamins. That's fine if you can afford all that good beef, grass-fed, blah, blah, blah. Not everybody can do that. I'm on a budget here. I buy whatever is the cheapest ground beef that I can, but I do not eat seed oils. I only cook in extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, and butter. If I'm making an omelette, I put the pan on last minute, put the butter in because butter burns at a high temperature. I cook everything at a high temperature. I have some flaws. So I throw in the eggs then and put a thing on the top. I used a saucepan cover, a glass saucepan cover from some other saucepan. I don't even know what the saucepan is, but the cover is there and it fits perfectly on top of the frying pan. I know you can actually buy frying pans with covers on them, so get one of those. Listen, I'm the cheapest of the cheap. I have cheap stuff. But I did invest in two good frying pans. Nevin Maguire's two good frying pans. Even though Nevin Maguire himself now could do with a bit of keto. So anyway, I'm not saying anything. I'm not perfect. I mean, there's a little bit of punch here. So I do not use seed oils. I also think that young people should be cutting back on grains. I think overnight oats is one of the greatest loads of rubbish. And I was a porridge eater, was an overnight oats eater. I think you should not start your day on carbs. I think it is a big mistake. You're setting yourself up for disaster for the day. The moment you put a carb in your mouth in the morning, you are going to want more carbs throughout the day, which means you're going to be hyperinsulinemic, whether you like it or not. Whether you want to accept that insulin has any role to play, it is the glucose spike. This constant glucose spike, you are injuring your body. Next thing, you have insulin coming out. It's injuring your body because the body is not designed for all day glucose and all day insulin. Stop it. But I would also cut out the refined seed oils. I do think there is an epidemic of dementia and cancer. Both controllable illnesses. Obviously, look, there are triggers, I do believe, for things like cancer that might set off your immune system. I also think people should be supplementing with vitamin D. I myself was on keto for probably a year, and my vitamin D was at 50, minimal. 50 is minimal. I was at 52. I could not get it up. I was out in the sunshine. I was doing this, that, and the other thing. His sunshine, Ireland. Irony. Anyway, I was out in the sun, could not get it up. I eventually gave in and supplemented with vitamin D. I initially bought vitamin D3 and K2, but it's so expensive. Like, I mean, you would want to have won the lottery to be healthy. So I started buying the Tesco vitamin D and turmeric tablet, and I watched my calcium, because sometimes if you don't take it with the K2, that can be a problem. But I eat plenty leafy greens, which have K2, and I eat sauerkraut. So I started taking the vitamin D. I saw my vitamin D rise. It went to 75 at my next blood test, which would have been maybe 8 months later. And then my most recent one, it was at 81. The optimum, that means the perfect level for the body, is between 75 and 125. And mine's now at 81. And I have not been sick in any way, any kind of sickness I have had. Like I said, I had the flu vaccination, very mild. Whereas before, I would pick up this, that, and the other thing, like anybody. I'm never sick now. No, that's not good for work. Of course, we don't want to pull a sickie, so I'm never sick. So I would supplement. I'm totally for supplementation. You cannot live in this modern world with mechanized production, and no matter how good your food, and we don't all have access to grass-fed beef. Like, I live in the real world. I get my eggs in a big slab, the cheapest one, because I have to budget. That is what people do to survive. So on a very low budget, I survive very well. And I don't buy excessively expensive things unless I need to. And if I buy frozen bags of fruit, I rarely eat fruit. But when I do, every so often I do eat. I eat a kiwi with the skin on. Not just for the vitamin C, for the fiber, for my polyphenols. Carnivores will tell you don't need anything for your polyphenols. That's fine. Carnivores do great. But it's very difficult to live in the real world as a carnivore. And especially if you are trying to manage many people. I think it's good to have a variety in your diet. But I do believe in supplementation. I do not eat seed oils. I would get 2 things out of my diet immediately if I were you. I'd get out seed oils, and I would get out grains like porridge. Now, after a while, you can reintroduce grains, and you can have them. Sometimes, like 2 nights ago, I had a slice of toast. Actually, it was spelt and honey bread from Lidl. I just took a notion. And it's kind of dry bread, but it actually does spike your insulin just as badly as, it spikes your blood sugar and insulin just as badly as anything else. So I would say that we need more fiber, but not grain fiber. I'm talking about fiber from a carrot. Like, I don't really eat carrots because they're too high on carbs. So I tend to eat rocket leaves, which is arugula. Rocket leaves, which is now, unfortunately, I don't know what happened to Lidl, but they're starting to wash the leaves. Like, don't wash arugula leaves or rocket leaves. Anyway, they just turn into sludge. But anyway, I'll have to get them somewhere else. I think Tesco don't wash them. They're much better. I eat, as every so often I buy some asparagus, and I just literally eat it out of the bunch. I buy Brussels sprouts. I buy a bag of frozen Brussels sprouts, frozen cauliflower and broccoli, and I put them in the bowl. I put them in the microwave, cheap as chips, and I microwave them. Then I drain out the water. Then I put a big load of cheese on top, or sometimes I put them in the pan with eggs, onion, ginger, the whole shebang, mushrooms, whatever. Throw in a few eggs. And I do that. I've loads of TikToks and loads of shorts on that. I eat a lot of cheese. Sometimes I eat the smelly cheese. I buy the cheapest cheese. I eat a lot of butter, but I do not eat seed oils. I drink olive oil. I take cod liver oil tablets. I take a multivitamin. I have different videos on my supplements, but they are the things I would cut out. Now, I don't know enough research about the seed oils, but I know enough from what I've read, because you have to focus on different things when you're studying something like keto. But I know enough to avoid them. Also, please, fast. Do some fasting. It is the best possible thing to give your body a break. We are designed to be in a fasted state. Humans are designed to be in a fasted state every now and again. Obviously, you don't want to be starving, but we are designed to be in a fasted state. It's very hard to get used to. I struggled myself, but I would say do it. Your body will be in your body and mind. I made a video yesterday about your mind, your body and mind. your body and mind. You will reach the promised land. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it until people listen. And to be honest, it doesn't affect me if people don't listen. But I hope you're listening. So get the seed oils out of here. Get used to olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is quite hard to get used to the taste. I drink a shot of it. I drink a shot of apple cider vinegar in the mornings for my polyphenols, really, but also for my hydrochloric acid in my stomach. And I would say there are little things you can do, but do not start your day with carbs. Do not start your day with carbs, and introduce some fasting. Fasting is almost impossible on a regular basis if you eat carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates of any kind. I'm talking about brown bread as well. Brown bread, porridge, all these things that we think are healthy, they are not healthy. If you're going to have some food before, say, 5 or 6 o'clock, don't have your carbs with it. Like, have the chili without the rice. In the evening, you can allow yourself now and again to have chili and rice in the evening. But guarantee if you eat carbohydrates, you will be wanting more carbohydrates. We're designed to eat carbohydrates when we find them and eat them all. If we were out in the bushes, living out there, and we found an apple tree, we'd eat the whole lot. Our family, our gathering, our people would sit around the apple tree for a week, eat the whole lot of it. And we'd be flying it then for a while because you'd be going to fat storage. Fantastic. The fructose would be processed by the liver and it would go into glycogen and fat storage. Perfect. And we would sleep well and we would procreate and we would do all the things that people do when they are well fed, like at Christmas. No, calm down, lads. But anyway, so yeah, it is something I think my journey really did start all those years ago, and jigsaw puzzle pieces were forming all through my life until they came together as one with the ketogenic diet, and it has been a revelation. And I really think people do need to wake up and realize you have the power yourself. I mean, I have said this before, I have nothing against doctors, but some of them are the greatest, thickest idiots I've ever met in my life, and they will not listen to you. And every time I have said something, I have been right. I remember when my father was sick at the beginning, I said to my mother, he is very vulnerable right now because I could see his immune system was low. I think he got Bell's palsy or cold sore or something. And I remember going, no, because he was bored and eating the wrong food. You know, during the pandemic, we all were eating that rubbishy crap. But of course, you know, that age group didn't have as much access to the internet. Loads of us were doing FaceTime calls and whatever. But so there was a level of kind of loneliness. You know, there's a combination of factors, but diet is everything. You got to rally the forces. If you're feeling a bit sick, that's the time you need to fast. That's why your body puts you in a fasted state with a fever, because it can't cope with something coming in. Can't cope with food. So anyway, look, I will talk to you again later. I have promised to do the bloods. I do have them ready, but I'm doing my notes and they're just taking ages because I have so many other things to do. But I am definitely going to do it this evening or tomorrow morning. Peace out, guys. Have a fantastic day and get those grains and seed oil out of your diet.